Gary and Laura. Now, islanders in South Uist say their community has been left beyond crisis because of ferry disruption. They're calling for compensation after the operator Calmac cancelled sailings from Lochboisdale to Malig on the mainland for the rest of June. Our reporter Katie Hunter is in Lochboisdale this morning. Katie, how are the people you're speaking to feeling?
Laura, fed up, frustrated, angry, worried, all words I've heard quite a lot while I've been here. And it's because the island's regular ferry has been redeployed. That's because of ongoing issues with the Calmac fleet elsewhere. So it means local people are having to travel via North Uist or Barra to get to the mainland by ferry. And they say there just isn't enough capacity on those routes. Now, many businesses here rely on tourism, especially over the summer months. So lots of businesses on the island are struggling. And at the weekend, there was a big protest about the latest disruption. And I met Christina Morrison. She runs a food business next to the ferry terminal. She says passengers account for more than 50% of her business. So the impact for her has been huge.
We understand a new ferry is not going to be appearing on our pier tomorrow, but our ferry group has been asking for some sort of compensation to help us get through. The feeling around the island is we were all better off during COVID because there was support in place during COVID at least. So you can keep your staff employed, you can keep things ticking along until things would get better. But for Calmac to tell us there's at least 2 years of disruptions, we don't have those 2 years in us anymore after the COVID and after the last few years of ferry disruptions. So we really need the Scottish Government to step in and really to help us support the economy and the local economy going forward.
And this is about more than money though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Laura. Another word you hear quite often is depopulation. The fear is that people will move away from South Uist and other island communities because the ferry service is so unreliable and there is no short-term fix. Gary Young is head of operations at Ashgrinish Golf Club, and he told me that the cancellations are affecting far more than business.
The ferries are affecting me at my work because the numbers are down on the golf course, so ultimately, will the golf course be sustainable? Family life, waiting on medication, or my son has allergies, so waiting on food coming over and things that are delayed because of ferry cancellations. So yeah, it has made us question how long we'll stay on the islands.
So what is Calmac and the Scottish Government saying?
Well, if we start with Calmac, it's apologised to people here and announced yesterday that its chief executive, Robbie Drummond, will visit South Uist next week to meet local people to hear their frustrations. I spoke to him last night and I put it to him that islanders are angry, that they're out of pocket and that they want more done to improve the situation. So let's hear some of what he had to say to that.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I want to say, look, I'm sorry for all the disruption to the community. Of course, we understand how angry we are at the disruption. This has happened because we've got one vessel in dry dock, the MV Finlagan, and also one vessel, the Heb Isles, which is still being repaired. So we've had to balance services across the network, and that's an incredibly difficult decision to make, but we need to make sure that every community maintains a lifeline service. So we've had to cancel services to Lochboisdale, but we have put additional services across the Sound of Barra and Little Minch to ensure that there is capacity available for people to travel to Lochboisdale, albeit we understand that's more inconvenient.
Now, the Transport Minister, Kevin Stewart, resigned earlier this week on health grounds. No Scottish Government minister was available for interview about the situation in South Uist, but Transport Scotland sent us a statement. It said it was acutely aware of the issues and challenges faced on South Uist, and it's been engaging directly with affected communities. A spokesperson said, while operational decisions regarding the Clyde and Hebrides ferry services lie with Calmac, we recognise this issue is not just about transport performance. It's about delivering the confidence needed to sustain local populations. Transport Scotland said ministers had invested more than £2 billion in ferry services since 2007 and had a 5-year plan to invest a further £700 million to improve infrastructure. But many people on this island and other islands, Laura, say they need financial help and they need it quickly.